I'm gonna kill you! Welcome to the Rowdy.com Big Three, sitting alongside Buck Fever, renowned NASCAR expert. Can't talk right now. I'm Bass Masters. We are talking about our favorite sport. Jerome Buzz Cutler has the questions today, and they are burning as usual.
I have to admit, I feel a little bad for Kurt Busch.
You don't feel a little dirty?
Here, this guy wins the All-Star race, and nobody's talking about him.
All we're talking about is the Hall of Fame.
And Denny and Kyle, but I gotta say, Kurt Busch was very, very fast at the end of the race, and as I may have said yesterday, Buck, I could see a similar scenario in the 600 on Sunday. Maybe not as much wrecking in the last 10 laps, but you could have a short run at the end.
Really? You see a green, white checkers, maybe?
It's possible, even after 400 laps.
Has that happened before? I haven't checked yet.
Meanwhile, back to Kurt Busch.
Kurt Busch did an incredible job. He won the All-Star race. I'm sorry we're talking about Denny and Kyle, but Kyle threw a big hissy fit, and he did it on live national TV.
You know, everyone talks about Kyle's talent level, and Kyle this, and multiple championships for Kyle, but which Busch brother has a championship? Kurt's going to put out a press release any day now reminding us that he actually has a championship and Kyle doesn't. But honestly,
he is underrated. Busch he is so underrated.
Is in a way, he's kind of stopped being so aggressive with his mouth, but he's still doing a pretty good job with the race car. So really I think he's a guy that could maybe crop up and win a championship here in the next couple, 3 or 4 years, and you'll just be like, wait, that's two.
Yeah.
And I think he's underrated, actually.
Very underrated.
A guy who's not as underrated is his team owner, and I can't help but notice that not only did Roger Penske just win the All-Star race, but he's got 3 cars in the first 2 rows of the Indy 500. I mean, there's a reason they call this guy the captain.
Well, this just in. When it comes to open-wheel racing, he's more than the captain. He's the astronaut. He's got it completely locked down. He's incredible at it, and it would be nice to see the captain actually get a championship in NASCAR as well as an open-wheel.
Is an astronaut better than a captain? That's my only question.
I think a
captain is doing a boat, but an astronaut is actually doing I
think a captain can do many things. An airplane, for example.
Be an astronaut.
Well, he could captain.
I don't think astronauts are rank.
I don't think astronauts.
I think astronauts rank higher.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled Rowdy.com programming to bring you this special announcement. Rowdy.com and the National Tailgating League are teaming up to bring you the best in pre-race entertainment. That's right, all day Saturday at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, we're talking cornhole, cornhole, cornhole. A contest to find the best rack in Charlotte, and by rack, of course, I'm referring to ribs. And Saturday night's concert featuring the Gin Whitney Band. If you want to participate in cornhole, in the ribs cook-off, or just come enjoy some music, check out www.thenTL.com. That's www.thenTL.com. Buck Bass and I will be there. Hope you will too.
They're here in captain's.
Meanwhile, back to Roger Penske.
You know, Roger Penske has obviously done a lot in business and a lot in racing. He's an extremely impressive individual. There's a few things he would like to win, and one of them is a NASCAR championship. I think it's interesting looking at his lineup right now because you got Kurt Busch performing really well, but then you've got Keselowski, a young guy showing potential, and Sam Hornish, who right now looks like, you don't really know what's going on with him. So, not sure everything's hunky-dory over there, but it's been a very good week.
I can tell you what's going on with Sam Hornish. He's looking for a job.
Well, that's not what
the captain said.
We'll see. Speaking of team owners who are really, really fast, Jack Roush is not. His cars are just abysmal. Carl Edwards had to get voted into the All-Star race.
Vote for me.
By a fan vote. What? I mean, come on. Riley over at Rowdy.com put up a blog saying, Jack Roush, what is going on?
It's
like a
easy.
2-year slide.
I think the issue that you have with these race cars right now is they're so tight in speed that if you're a little off, you're a lot off. That used to be true at like a track like Atlanta because it was such a handling racetrack. If you're a little off, well, you just lose a lot because of all the corner there. It's almost true for the series as a whole now, that if your car is just a little bit off and you can't quite dial it in or figure it out, it's going to show up in a big way on the racetrack, and I think that's what's happening to Roush Fenway now. They don't want to overreact and start throwing everything out and starting from scratch, but at the same time, where are the signs? The drivers, I think, are doing all they can. I mean, they're staying in the top 12 in the points here, but the cars aren't winning race cars.
I'm done now. It's somewhat of a catch-22.
I'm really done.
It's somewhat of a catch-22 now because they're not running completely crappy. They're just not winning races. And you kind of stick your hands over there, and if you do throw the kitchen sink at it, and it works, then you're off to the races. If you don't, you go further down. They are just a tick
Yeah.
away, and that's the conundrum.
I think you're right, Buck, that it's a high-risk situation here if you start getting too far out of the box, but at the same time, you can't accept the status quo right now. Can you?
No, I mean, I think you got to take one of those cars and say, listen, this is a test car. Let's
Hey,
try something
how
different.
about David Reagan?
You said it, I did. All right, that's been your Rowdy.com Big Three for today. For Buck Fever and Reagan Hater, Buzz Cutler, I'm Bass Masters. We'll see you next time.
Oh, I'm going to get letters now.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.